Okay, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for coming. Very happy to see you. It's a beautiful day and a beautiful month. But before we start, we have to say, to do the usual, we have to thank Hashem. We have to thank you guys, all of you, with your support, with your enthusiasm, with your goodwill. Baruch Hashem. May Hashem bless you with all the best in life. And of course, we have to thank the technician and bless the technician also with all the best. Baruch Hashem. So we just finished celebrating the Rosh Chodesh of Adar. And as we mentioned before, we have to increase the simcha, the happiness in this month. It's something very interesting. The Torah portion of Mishpatim that we read a couple of weeks ago, not this Shabbat, the Shabbat before, it says, Ve'ele hamishpatim, ve'ele, just one word in Hebrew, ve'ele. It's an acronym. If you put it in different order, it says, LaYehudim hayta ora ve'simcha. To the Jewish people, there was a lot of happiness and joy in this month. Because as you know, the decree that Haman and Achashverosh had turned around, and Hashem made such a miracle that all the Jews were, saved, and the wicked people were killed. Now, there's a big question between, not between, the question is, what is the difference between the miracle of Purim and the miracle of Hanukkah? In the miracle, the situation in Purim, as you know, there was a decree to kill all the Jewish people in 127 countries. That was such a wicked decree. It was worse than what is Hitler in Machimo. It's unbelievable. In one day to kill all the Jews. So the Jews could not protect themselves physically. What can they do? Therefore, they had to pray to Hashem and ask him to help them to survive and to remove the decree. And that's what happened. All the Jews, especially children, were praying to Hashem, and Baruch Hashem, Hashem changed the decree, and all the Jewish people were saved. And that's why physically we could not do anything, and therefore we have a major feast that we do in Purim. That's one of the things that we have to do in Purim to satisfy the body that was saved in Purim. However, in Hanukkah, there was a worse decree on the Jewish people. However, it was not physical decree. It was a spiritual decree. The Greeks wanted to remove all connection with God, to cancel Shabbat. They told the Jews not to keep Shabbat, not to keep the circumcision, not to keep Rosh Chodesh, not to keep the mitzvot. So the Jews said, we have to fight for the Torah, we have to fight for Hashem, and nobody can do that for us. So do that to us. Therefore, they went and they fought physically against the biggest empire in the world then. Can you imagine that 10 old men today will get up and say, we want to fight the United States and we're going to win? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But that's what they did then. They were old people, the old Torah scholars, they have no experience in fighting. However, that's what they did, and that's what Hashem helped them to win. And so in Hanukkah, there was a spiritual win, and that's why we don't need food to eat. Special meal, special feast. Of course, we eat things, but it's not a mitzvah to eat like in Purim. Okay, that was regarding to the month of Purim. It is very happy festival, very happy holiday all over the world, especially in Israel. I remember in Israel, since you're a kid, even before kindergarten, you have to put this different custom, whatever, and they have parades all over in every city. They have parades to show the big simcha and the big miracle that happened to the Jewish people. And if you follow up, maybe with the news, on the day of Purim, you can see different parades all over the state of Israel, which is very hard. Of course, we have a few things that we need to do during the day, the night of Purim, and the day. And the night we have the night before the day we have to read the Megillah, and then the next day we read the Megillah again. Then we have to have a nice feast, and of course to exchange gifts between friends, neighbors, family, whatever, and of course to give charity to the poor. This is very, very important. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, so that now we're entering this month of Adar, in the Torah portion of Mishpatim, when it says, not Mishpatim, in the Torah, the Deuteronomy, it says, Ele hadvarim asher diber Moshe lebnei Israel. Those are the things that Moshe was talking to the Jewish people in the desert. So Moshe Rabbeinu was with the Jewish people for 40 years in the desert. However, he started on the 11th month to start to give them a summary of everything that they have to do. And it says that it lasts for 36 days till Adar 7th. In Adar 7th, he passed away. So he was teaching them the whole thing again. And then, Moshe Rabbeinu was born in Adar 7. Adar is the month of Purim. And he died also in Adar 7. So that's another thing that we have to remember in the month of Adar, the day that he was born and the day that he died, Moshe Rabbeinu, alav shalom, the biggest leader of the Jewish people ever. Okay, so now in the Torah portion of Mishpatim that we read, not this week, the week before, they mentioned something there about, just to give you a little quick halacha, so you know where is it coming from. It says over there not to eat, or rather not to cook. It says not to cook milk and meat together. But then we see it coming in the Torah 3 times, twice in the book of Exodus and one of the book of Deuteronomy. And the question is, why do we need to have it 3 times? Don't we understand after 1 time, Hashem tells us, don't kill? Okay, don't kill. Don't steal, don't steal. You don't say it 3 times in the 10 Commandments, but here and this, don't cook milk and meat together, it comes 3 times. The idea is to tell us that we cannot, let's say somebody cooked by mistake, milk and meat, then we cannot eat it, of course. First of all, we cannot cook it, we cannot eat it, and we cannot even enjoy it. What does it mean to enjoy it? Let's say you spend a lot of money and by mistake something happened. Now you have a lot of meat that was, you cannot eat it because it was cooked with milk. What are you going to do with it? Maybe you give it to some dogs. Oh, but you're going to enjoy that. Maybe you're going to sell it to somebody that doesn't care and going to eat it. Well, you're going to enjoy that too. So you cannot enjoy at all. So what do? It's either you burn it or you bury it. You cannot enjoy this kind of food at all. Okay, so that's just one point out of many points of the Mishpatim Torah portion. There's a lot of laws, a lot of commandments, what we should do. And it's very interesting. I mean, if you go one by one, you see everything basically is covered, and all we have to do is just to follow. Now, to read it and to understand everything from there, it's hard. That's why we have the oral Torah to explain to us what to do. And of course, we have the Shulchan Aruch that breaks it to really details. And even after the Shulchan Aruch, we have many different rabbis that made it very easy for us to understand all the rules that we have to follow. So there is no question that somebody cannot say, uh, I, I, I can find the, what it says, or I don't know where to find the reason. Everything is written, everything is clear. And if you cannot find it written, you go to the rabbi, he'll tell you and he'll show you exactly where to find it. Everything really very clear, and we have access to it. So there's no reason why not to keep all the Torah and Mitzvot. Bezat Hashem. There's something else that is mentioned in the Mishpatim, the Torah portion of Mishpatim, and this is something really very important. And I don't know why they don't show it to the world to see it. And I'm going to read you what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. And it's in chapter 23 and verse 31. It says over there, I shall set your border from the sea of reeds to the sea of the Philistines. Now, what does it mean? Very not clear. And then from the wilderness until the river. River, everybody knows what is a river. Just to give an idea, so he's talking about from the Red Sea, that we know the Red Sea, all the way down in Egypt. And then it says the Philistines is the Mediterranean, and the river is the river in Babylon. So let's look at this idea. The border of Israel should be from all the way from down Egypt all the way to Babylon. Okay, we didn't get that yet, but this is the promise. Now, if you go in Torah portion, also Ekev, they give you also a description of the border of Israel, and I'm just going to read to you quickly. It's chapter 11, verse 24, and it says, listen to this. Beside the borders, look what Hashem promises. Every place where the sole of your foot will tread shall be yours. From the wilderness, which is all the way south in the desert, and the Lebanon, from the river to the Euphrates, the river in Babylon, and no man will stand up against you. So you see, these borders of the state of Israel has been promised to us for a long time ago, and nobody can deny it, and nobody can say anything against it, because this is our land, and Hashem, Bezat Hashem, will keep his word, will keep his promise that we're going to have this land very soon. If the other nations of the world like it or not, that's going to happen. But we know that the rest of the world will accept it. Not by force, they'll accept it with understanding and with love. Now, the Torah portion of Terumah that we read, talking about building the tabernacle, the Mishkan. And you know that Moshe Rabbeinu collected money from all the people. It says gold, silver, copper, whatever, and it was enough to build. It was beautiful. However, listen, every Torah portion has an Haftorah that comes from a different book of the Torah to show similarity. We'll talk about one day about why do we have Haftorah. But for now, I just want to draw your attention. So when we talk about Torah portion building the tabernacle by Moses, the Haftorah is talking about King Solomon building the Holy Temple, the first Holy Temple. As you know, 480 years after coming from the Exodus from Egypt, King Solomon built the first Beit HaMikdash, the first temple. And the first temple existed for 410 years. Then came the Babylonian and they destroyed it. And the Jewish people went for exile for 70 years. they did tshuva on three major sins that because of them the temple was destroyed. And the three major sins where everybody I think knows about it. It's idol worshiping, killing, and adultery. So during the 70 years, the Jewish people did major tshuva, and Hashem sent them back to Israel, and they built the second Bet HaMikdash, second temple, and the second temple existed for 420 years, and it is not rebuilt again since then because we did not did tshuva for the major sin that the temple was destroyed. So it was basically baseless hatred. You know, people used to hate each other, lashon hara, and all the bad things. And till we have baseless love, then we're not going to see the Bet HaMikdash. So soon, we hope that all the Jews will love each other with no reason, just to love each other, you know, and then the Mashiach will come. So to go back to the building the Bet HaMikdash by King Solomon, listen how much it took to build the Bet HaMikdash during King Solomon. Moshe Rabbeinu did not build the Bet HaMikdash. He built something smaller, and it didn't take so much to do. It was some labor involved, but not so much involved like King Solomon. King Solomon, it says that this is the book of Kings. If you want to read it over there, Kings Part A. You have two books of Kings. So Part A and chapter, the 5th chapter and verse 26. So it says there that he used 30,000 workers, volunteers, 10,000 going to Lebanon to work there. They had to leave their home, whatever, the families, and come back. Other 10 goes there, come back, and the other 10 goes back. That's how they do the rotation. Beside that, he had, and I'm going to read it to you quickly so you see that it's true, that I'm not telling you things from my head. It says here, King Solomon had 70,000 carriers of all the heavy things from Lebanon to Israel, and he had 80,000 workers to dig in the mountains to get to take the stones and to bring them to Israel. So we're talking about 150,000 people digging and working in Lebanon to bring the goods to the Holy Land. Now, whoever went to Israel to see the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall, I was fortunate to see it many times. As I mentioned to you before, I did my bar mitzvah there. When you see the sizes of the stones, you can really, it's a mind-boggling. How did they do that in these days of then, to cut it so straight, and they really weigh tons of kilos, not pounds, kilos. How did they bring the whole thing from there to Jerusalem? It was unbelievable operation. So, and it says in the Torah that they were not supposed to use any kind of metal to chop and to smooth the stones. They had this very special, I don't know if the science really know about this kind of thing today, maybe they know, I don't know. But there was a special tool, not tool, it's a kind of creature that really took care of the rocks to make them smooth and to cut them. I don't know how they cannot do that today for sure, but that's what Hashem wanted. He said, no metal will touch my holy temple, because metal means killing, because you can use the metal to kill people. So Hashem did not want to have anything like that to be involved with the holy temple. So now it just shows you the operation of the building of Bet HaMikdash was very involved, and of course it was very beautiful and very holy. Now, something very interesting in the Torah portion also, it says in Parashat Terumah that Hashem asked asked Moshe Rabbeinu to build the menorah, the candelabra, special, very special one. It has to be made from gold and one piece, with no parts, that connected to each other. It has to be one unit. How can you make something like that? That's very involved. Different pieces, small pieces, round pieces, whatever. How can you make it in one piece? So Moshe Rabbeinu, it says that he had a little problem how to do it. So the menorah, that was one thing that he did not know how to do exactly. That's why he needed Hashem to help him. And then it says that he had a problem also to understand how to make a shekel. Shekel is a type of coin that he also did not have an idea how to really make it. And then it says that he had a little problem how to figure the new month each month. So why I'm telling you all this? Because the name Moshe, the acronym of the name Moshe, if you pay attention, the first letter is Mem. Mem is for menorah. He had a problem with the menorah, with the candelabra, right? That's Mem. And the Shin of Moshe is a shekel, the coin. And the He is HaChodesh, which means the new month. So Moshe is the acronym of the three things that he had a little difficulties to understand how to create them. So if you want to remember in the future what are the three things that Moshe Rabbeinu had, you remember the name Moshe, and that will help you. Some people say the Shin of Moshe is also regarding to some different shuratzim, like all this kind of creature that we're not supposed to eat. Anyway, so that was the idea. Now we're getting, Be'ezat Hashem, to more and more details and information regarding Bnei Israel getting together with the Mishkan and with the Torah, and Moshe Rabbeinu teaching them how to be ready to enter to Eretz Israel. So, get ready and be prepared for all this information, because the Mashiach is going to come soon, and we have to know all this information before the Mashiach will come. Even though we're not Kohanim and Leviim, but we still have to know some of the information. So, Be'ezat Hashem, we'll continue next week. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer.
Somebody posed a question, and the same question I had in my mind, and I want to see if I had it correct. The people who were involved in the building of the Bet HaMikdash, there were 135,000 and change converts. Is that correct?
100 what?
153,600 commerce, I think, who worked in the mines to get.
Well, there were different people. I don't know the number or the percentage, but most of them were Jews. Some of them were converts, and some of them were just not gerim exactly, but they did not yet get the level of completely ger. It's toshav, yeah. The different level, but all of them did this with they volunteered. They were not forced. The king can force them to do that, but he didn't have to. Everybody really volunteers his time and his effort to do that, like they volunteered their money during Moshe Rabbeinu in the desert. Everybody was happy to give whatever they have to build the Mishkan.
I saw a connection of the building of the Bet HaMikdash with I mean the Mishkan with Noah's Ark. Is there a connection between the building of the Mishkan and the creation of the world?
Mishkan and who?
and the creation of the world.
I mean, the world cannot exist without Jews and without the Torah and without the Mishkan, of course. So whatever we do is in order to really keep the whole world together. Because it says if there'll be 1 minute or even less than 1 minute without Torah, the whole world will disappear. I'll give you a quick story before, mamash quick story. There was a big rabbi. His name was the Vilna Gaon. Big rabbi, big rabbi. And one day he was studying and he saw a young kid, 16 years old, coming into the yeshiva, and he stood up to him and he went to him and he thanked him. So all the assistants, whatever, other rabbi, what happened, rabbi? Everybody comes to you to kiss your hand and to greet you. And now you get up for this kid. What happened? He said, this kid last night was the only one that studied Torah for this kind of second between this and this time, whatever, and he was holding the whole world. So can you imagine?
Yeah.
So the Jewish people with the Torah, it's known. In לא בריתי יומם ולילה, חוקות שמיים וארץ לא שמתי. Without the Torah, nothing will exist. So that's why we have to keep the Torah as much as we can.
I think that's all the questions.
Okay, I guess this is all the question we have for today. I mean, if you have it, don't be shy. Ask. I can't promise answer, but okay, Bezrat Hashem.
Rabbi,
Yes.
good morning.
Good morning.
I have the book that you have for the Welcome to Judaism. Such as a good book. It's so awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm taking exam and then I see you explain everything very good. I have some problem with the question that they have over there in the question that they have from the organization, and then I just get like confused. Should I answer this way or should I answer this way or answer the way I have knowledge? And then I said, okay, I just follow the book.
So, what did you answer?
I answer based on the book. I think so because they said based on the Welcome to Judaism, answer this or answer that. There is a 10 question, and then I have to pass them. It's a little bit confused me with some stuff that they ask, but I'm still working on it.
Oh, if you want, you can text it to me, and I'll be very happy to help you.
Really?
Of course.
Where I can text you, Rabbi?
To my phone number. Check with the secretary. She'll give you the information.
Sure, I will. They send me email of your like a live Zoom. That's it.
Okay. Contact us with the email. It will be easier.
Sure, I will.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay, very welcome. Be
God
well,
bless.
be happy, and don't forget it's the month of Adar.
Tell everybody that's your question for my.
Okay, so we have a lot of questions and emails, so be patient. We'll get to you sooner or later. I promise you before the Mashiach will come. Bezrat Hashem. All right, be well, be happy. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Take care.